Good evening, I'm Gwen Eiffel, and welcome to the Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri, to the first and only 2008 vice presidential debate between the Republican nominee, Governor Sarah Palin from Alaska, and the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden of Delaware. Let's welcome the candidates.
Can I call you Joe?
Hey.
Good, because I practiced a couple zingers while I call you Joe.
Now, tonight's discussion will cover a wide range of topics, including domestic and foreign policy matters. Each candidate will have 90 seconds to respond to the direct question, and then an additional 2 minutes for rebuttal and follow-up. As your moderator, I will not ask any follow-up questions beyond "do you agree?" or your response, so as not to appear biased for Barack Obama, in the light of my new book. Breakthrough: Politics of Race in the Age of Obama, coming out on Inauguration Day and available for pre-order on Amazon.com. And finally, we would like to remind our audience that due to the historically low expectations for Governor Palin, were she simply to do an adequate job tonight, at no point cry, faint, vomit, or run out screaming, you should consider the debate a tie. Alright, let's begin. Senator Biden, how, as Vice President, would you work to shrink the gap of polarization that has sprung up in Washington?
Well, I would do what I've done my whole career. Whether it's been dealing with violence against women or putting 100,000 police officers on the street, I would reach across the aisle, like I've done with so many members of the other party. Members like John McCain. He's one of my dearest friends. But at the same time, he's also dangerously unbalanced. I mean, let's be frank. John McCain, and this is a man I would take a bullet for. He's bad at his job and mentally unstable. As my mother would say, God love him, but he's a raging maniac.
Governor Palin, how would your administration deal with the current financial crisis?
Well, first of all, let me say how nice it is to meet Joe Biden. And may I say, up close, your hair plugs don't look nearly as bad as everyone says. You know, John McCain and I, we're a couple of mavericks. And gosh darn it, we're going to take that maverick energy right to Washington, and we're going to use it to fix this financial crisis and everything that's plaguing this great country of ours.
How will you solve financial crisis by being mavericks?
You know, we're going to take every aspect of the crisis and look at it, and then we're going to ask ourselves, what would a maverick do in this situation? You know, we're going to do it.
Senator Biden, how would your administration address the current financial crisis?
Barack Obama and I understand that we need to regulate Wall Street. John McCain voted against Wall Street regulation 41 times. Let me repeat that. 41 times. And again, this is the man I love. If I had to spend the rest of my life on a desert island with only one other person, it would be John McCain, no doubt about it. I mean, you should see the way his face lights up when he walks into a room. But the fact is, John McCain has voted with George Bush over 90% of the time. Let me say that again. Time.
Governor Palin, how would you like to respond to Senator Biden's comments about Senator McCain?
No, thank you. But I would like to talk about being an outsider. You see, while Senator Biden has been in Washington all these years, and I've been out with regular people, hockey moms and Joe Six-Packs, and I'd also like to give a shout out to the third graders of Gladys Woods Elementary who were so helpful to me in my debate prep. Also, too, you see, I think a bit differently from an insider. I don't think it's patriotic to pay more taxes. I don't think it's patriotic to criticize these wars we got going on. I do think it's patriotic to tell the government, hey, get out of my way. Stop trying to impose on my right to shoot wolves from a helicopter. A Washington insider like Joe Biden probably disagrees.
You know, I get a little tired of being told I'm an insider. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and that's as hard scrabble a place as you're ever gonna find. I'll show you around one time and you'll see. It's absolute jerkwater of town. On the weekend there. It's just an awful, awful sad place filled with sad, desperate people with no ambition. Nobody, and I mean nobody, but me has ever come out of that place. So don't be telling me I'm part of the Washington elite because I come from the absolute worst place on earth. Wilmington, Delaware is not much better.
Governor Palin, what is your position position on healthcare regulation?
Let me talk about global
You skipped the
warming.
line.
Oopsie, sorry. Okay, Senator Palin, address your position.
Senator Palin.
It says
It says Senator Palin.
Senator Palin,
Oh.
address your position on global warming and what do you think it's man-made or not?
Gwen, we just don't know if this climate is man-made or if it's just a natural part of the end of days. But I'm not going to talk to you about that. I would like to talk about taxes because with Barack Obama, you're going to be paying higher taxes. But not with me and my fellow Maverick. We're not afraid to get Mavericky in there and ruffle feathers and not going to allow that. And also, too, the great Ronald Reagan.
Governor Palin, what is your position on healthcare regulation?
I'm going to ignore that question and instead talk about Israel. So much. Bless its heart. There's a special place in Israel and in heaven. And I know some people are going to say I'm only saying that to pander to Florida voters, but from a very young age, my two greatest loves were always Jews and Cuban food.
I would now like to give each of you a chance to make a closing statement.
Oh, are we not doing the talent portion?
Senator Biden, your closing statement.
My goal tonight was a simple one. To come up here and at no point seem like a condescending, egomaniacal bully. And I'm going to be honest, I think I nailed it. Sure, there were moments when I wanted to say, hey, this lady is a dummy. But Joe Biden is better than that. I repeat, Joe Biden is better than that. So to all you pundits who said I would seem cocky or arrogant, you dopes got schooled Biden style.
Governor Palin?
I like being here tonight answering these tough questions with the filter of mainstream gotcha media with their follow-up questions, fact-checking, or incessant need to figure out what your words mean and why you put them in that order. I'm happy to be speaking directly to the American people to let them know that if you want an outsider who doesn't like politics as usual or pronouncing the G at the end of words she's saying, I think you know who to vote for. Oh, and for the Joe Six-Packs out there playing a drinking game at home, Maverick.